Have you ever felt like the more you understand the world, the harder it becomes to feel understood? Like the more questions you ask, the fewer people want to hear the answers? If so, you're not imagining it. There's a reason deep thinkers often walk alone. Not because they choose isolation, but because society quietly pushes them to the margins. And this has always been the case. From Socrates to history is littered with the lives of those who saw too much, too clearly, and too soon. They weren't exiled for being wrong. They were silenced because they made others uncomfortable. Why? Because truth unsettles. And deep thinkers are not just intelligent, they're disruptors of comfort. They see cracks in the foundations others are still trying to build upon. But let's go deeper. Why exactly does intelligence provoke resistance? What is it about deep thinking that turns admiration into alienation? To understand that, let's look at a curious psychological phenomenon. When you meet someone physically stronger than you might admire their discipline. When you meet someone wealthier, maybe you feel a bit envious, but you don't feel threatened. But when you meet someone intellectually sharper than you, something strange happens. It's not just comparison, it's confrontation, not with them, but with yourself. Psychologists call it the self-concept threat. A deep thinker doesn't just share new ideas, they force others to reconsider their own, and most people would rather protect their worldview than update it. Why? Because beliefs are not just ideas, they're identity. When those beliefs are questioned, people feel as if they are being questioned. And no one likes to feel exposed. This is why intelligence feels more dangerous than beauty, money, or status. It doesn't just change how we see others, it changes how we see ourselves. It's why people shy away from complex conversations, change the topic when things get too deep, or dismiss intellectual insights with sarcasm. It's not rudeness, it's defense. Now, let's talk evolution. For thousands of years, survival depended more on belonging than thinking. Being rejected by your tribe meant danger, even death. So our brains evolved to prioritize acceptance over truth. When a deep thinker enters the room, challenging the group's assumptions, they disturb this ancient balance. The tribe reacts, not with curiosity, but with caution. The message is clear: don't threaten the herd. A 2021 study at Princeton found that people are more likely to trust and follow confident speakers over accurate ones. Even when presented with data, most choose certainty over nuance. That's why shallow ideas wrapped in charisma spread faster than complex truths spoken softly. It's also why the loudest voices in media are rarely the wisest. Now consider this. Why are the most brilliant minds often only celebrated after they're gone? Because their ideas have to outlive the fear they provoke. Galileo had to be silenced before he could be honored. Nietzsche died dismissed before he shaped modern thought. Tesla died broke before the world lit up with his inventions. Society doesn't reward the visionary, it rewards the familiar. And visionaries are never familiar, not at first. But this isn't just a tragedy. It's a pattern, and it reveals something important. Intelligence isn't rejected because it's wrong. It's rejected because it arrives before the world is ready. To him, intelligence wasn't a gift. It was a burden, one that sharpens perception, but dulls connection. Because the more you understand, the harder it becomes to enjoy what others enjoy, to believe what others believe. While most seek comfort, deep thinkers seek clarity. Where others see entertainment, they see distraction. Where others find joy in conformity, they feel trapped. That disconnect leads to isolation, not because they don't want connection, but because they crave truth over approval. So what can be done? Should deep thinkers retreat forever? Should they stay quiet to avoid discomfort? But they must be strategic. Schopenhauer believed solitude wasn't a punishment, but a privilege, a space to create, reflect, and build without compromise. He also believed that true connection happens not in crowds, but in moments. moments of shared truth between minds that resonate. So if you're a deep thinker, don't chase validation from the many. Seek resonance with the few. Because history proves one thing over and over again.